Welcome back. Today we are going to be making Thai boat noodle, okay? I will show you the ingredients and then we're going to show you the rest of the process later on. What I have here is pendant leaf. Okay, we'll put that in there. Usually you could use rock sugar. I'm pretty sure there's rock sugar too, but it's called yellow rock sugar. We're using dried galanga. We have cinnamon sticks. One little anise star. We have some dried pepper, black pepper that we're using. So go ahead and put that in there. I'm using, I think this is about like 5-gallon pot or more. Okay, what you cannot miss is D5 spice. I'm gonna use a little just to measure that. I'm gonna put half of that in. And then you could just add the ingredient to your liking. So it doesn't have to be, you know, exactly how much I put in there. Depending on how much broth you're making. I'm using 1 jar of the pickled garlic. I'm also going to be using the water that's in there for the tasting. We are using just a little bit of the salt because we're going to be adding other ingredients. So about that much is fine. And then when it boils, you could add it, and then if you need more, go ahead and add more. Alright, we have mushroom sauce that I'm going to be using. We got the thin soy sauce, sweet soy sauce, and black soy sauce. So the way that you measure this is, like I say, depending on how much broth you're making, just go ahead and do half of the ladle. Okay, pour that in there. Okay, then we're going to add a cup of water. Add a cup of water, give it a good mix, and then we're going to put that on a low heat. And then in the meantime, while this is cooking out, we're going to be cutting our meat and put it in there. Okay guys, next up we're going to be cutting up some beef muscle that I'm going to be using for the meat. I like it because it's really tender when the muscle is cooked. Get this anywhere at the Asian store. We're going to be cooking this for a good 4 to 5 hours, soaking in the sauce. Some people, they like to cut that up first. I'm just going to do half and then throw that in the pot.
Cool. Okay.
That's what it's going to look like. Okay. I like to cut a big chunk of it and then leave it in the pot simmering, boiling for a good 4 or 5 hours, and then you could take that out and then cut them into a smaller piece. Okay, we're gonna add the meat in there. You see that simmering? We're gonna turn that down to a low heat. Put that meat in there. Give it a good stir so that it's mixed in there with the ingredient. When it comes out, it's gonna be really good and juicy and tasty. You could also use beef bone if you want to. We're gonna give it a good stir, give it a good mix, and then turn your pot back to a high and then add the water to make the broth. You could do like 5 gallons or how much you're making the boat noodle, so that's good enough for me. And then I'm gonna add the water. And then put it in the medium heat and let that simmer for a good 3 to 4 hours. And then check on it, taste the broth, and then whatever is missing, add more ingredients to your liking, okay? So in the meantime, I will prepare the noodles, the meatball, and the tribes that we're gonna be dressing our boat noodle. Okay guys, so the next step that we're gonna be doing is prepping our meat that we're gonna be putting in our boat noodles. I got some tribes here. And then we got some meatball. I am using the beef meatball with the beef tender. I like that better. It's optional, you can use whatever meatball you want. And then I got the beef that we're gonna be slicing. Okay, so I'll show you how I do it. Okay, next we're gonna do the meatball. I like it whole. Okay, some people can slice it up. You can, if you want, you know, but I'm gonna do that whole. I'm gonna be using 2 packages because I love meatball. That. There we go. And then next we're going to be slicing the beef meat. You could try to slice as thin as you can, or as thick as you know, however you want your meat. But I like them really thin, so I just like to pour the hot broth on them, and then they cook at just the right temperature. So, put that here. Okay, so we're just gonna keep slicing the meat, and then that's how thin mine is. So when I put it in the bowl and pour the hot broth on, it cooks just at the perfect temperature. Okay, so this is the beef that I took out from our pot. I'm gonna be slicing them up, and then we're gonna throw that back in there. It's been like 2 hours, so another good 2 hour will make the meat really juicy. So you just take them out and then slice them thin, or you could cut them up into little squares if you want, however you like your meat. You could do that, but I'm gonna slice mine like this. Okay, and then we're gonna throw that back into the pot. After slicing the beef, we're gonna put them back into the pot. We're gonna leave that at a medium-low, and then we're gonna go work on our vegetables so we could dress our dish up. Another good 2 hour. I think it's perfect for the meat to be tender and juicy. After that, we're gonna add the blood, the beef blood. That's what I use. You can also use the pork blood, that's optional. And then after that, we're just gonna leave that cooking, add it to your taste, and then you should be good. Alright, we're gonna add the beef blood. Like I said, you could also use the pork blood. Optionals. I'm gonna pour this in. Okay. And then we're gonna give it a good stir when we pour it in. Let me see. Here we go. Okay. And then taste the broth. When it boils, you taste the broth, and then whatever you're missing, add it to your tasting. So it should look like that.
Okay. 'Cause I don't know. 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 'Cause I don't know
Okay guys, the last step is chopping up our vegetable to dress up our dish. What I have here is celeries. We're gonna be using the leaf and the stalk because they give a really good kick and smells. We're gonna be cutting them up about like 2 inches, or you could do 2.5, however you want your vegetable. So I'm gonna do about 2. Okay, just like that, really easy. Okay, and we're gonna put that here along with our bean sprouts that I have that we're gonna be putting on our dish also. Okay, next we have water spinach, or I think it's Thai water spinach or water spinach, about the same size. Okay, see? We're gonna put that here on this side. Okay, last but not least is our cilantro and our green onions that we're going to be slicing pretty thinly to garnish our dish with, okay? So I'm going to start with the green onion first. Okay, and we're gonna put that here on this bowl. And then we're gonna do our cilantro. Okay guys, it's been a good 4 hours. My broth is ready, everything's perfect. I'm gonna make it in a small pot. So we're gonna turn the heat on. We're gonna get the broth from this big pot here. Okay, and we're gonna be getting the beef with the tendon from this pot also. Just gonna get myself to start small because I will be adding everything else on here. Put yourself up to high. We are gonna throw in meatball and the tribe, and then I'm gonna put in the vegetable. Once I see it starts to simmer, the meatball already comes pre-cooked, so you could either cook that a little longer or however you like. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to be throwing in the celeries, a little bit of this bean sprout, and the water spinach. Give it a good stir. And if the broth is too little, you could always add more towards the end. I'm just gonna do a little samples for you guys to see. Okay, it's gonna be like that. Okay, it's time for the noodle. I am using the rice stick noodle. You could get any brand you want. So I'm just gonna add that in there. Okay. Oh, that looks good. It's all coming together. Looks delicious, right? We're gonna let that boil up a little bit just to make sure that the noodles cook. Alright, now we are going to pour this in here. We're gonna turn it off. We're gonna pour this in here. Okay, like that. And then I'm gonna add my thin sliced beef. And then I'm gonna add more broth on here. Okay. Like that. Because I have more of the boiling broth on this side. We're just gonna pour that in the middle where the meat is. Like that. Okay. Give it a little push down. And then we'll let that cook, and then let's go garnish it. Okay, to garnish, we're gonna add green onion, a little bit of cilantro. Okay, I'm gonna use dry pepper flakes. I like that better than the oil chili. Put that on top, just like that. I'm gonna use some fried garlic. Side there, a little bit of sugar, instead of using lime, I like to use the distilled vinegar. So I'm gonna put a little bit on there. It gives me a really good kick. And this is like totally optional, you guys, the seasoning. Add it to your tasting. I like mine with a little bit, I know it's a lot of seasoning, but I like mine with a little bit of sriracha. I'm gonna put sriracha on there, like that. Last but not least, we got some fish sauce. Just a little bit. It blends in really well with the sugar and the lime. With the vinegar. Okay. Let's give it a good mix and try out our Thai boat noodle. See, we got a little bit of everything there. That looks delicious. Okay, I'm gonna taste it. Perfect. It's perfect, you guys. I'm gonna go eat now. So come back for my next video. Don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to share also. I got more delicious food on the menu. So come back to visit. Thank you.